Hi, hello there. Okay, so future starts today. And why? Because this is the time when you decided to be here right now, to be at SOAP conference and to listen to all those great talks. My name is Rafał Pawlicki. I was a developer. Then in 2022, when I was 34, I was a documentation manager. And now I'm a time-traveling documentation manager. And I came back to you today to tell you about the future of documentation. And I know what you are thinking right now. Time travels are not possible, right? But I've got some proofs. Because I've got some photos from future SOAP conferences. As you may see, I met some of you there, so do you believe me now? But let's assume that time travels are not possible. Can we predict the future? I don't know. None of us was able to predict the pandemic, for instance. Even huge companies have some difficulties to transform themselves to work in a hybrid or even fully remote environments. And our homes, our offices, our apartments were not designed to have an office most of the time. So another example is that none of you was able to predict that I will bring this fancy soapy pillow, and also you were not able to predict that I will throw it to the audience. So please catch it. Ah, yeah, nice catch. Make sure that no one touched the pillow, okay? And we will come back to you later. And don't play with the pillow during the presentation. Okay, so sometimes you may have a hunch. You may have such a feeling that a particular path or a pattern will be a good choice and will define your future or make it better. And on the other hand, if the hunch is the only thing you have, you can end up with some unexpected results, I think, even random. And to show you what I mean, I would like to ask Aga to join me on stage. So please give Aga a round of applause. Can you stand over here? So, Aga, what I have here is a deck of playing cards.
I asked if there is going to be an embarrassment involved, and you promised there's none.
No, don't worry. There are 52 different cards, as you can see. And you will choose one of them randomly in a moment. But before that, I need to show you that I used an algorithm designed by Paweł Kowaluk to predict the future. So, and your job is to say or even shout "soap" whenever you want, when I will be dribbling those cards like this. Yeah, and we will get one of the cards randomly this way.
Okay.
So, are you ready?
Yes.
To shout or to say soap?
To say.
Okay, so.
Soap?
Here?
Yeah.
I can drop 3 more cards.
No.
Did you use your hunch?
No.
Okay, so maybe we can do it again. This time use your hunch, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Soap?
Okay, here?
Yes.
So please take the card. See the face of the card. And remember it. And you can put it inside the deck, actually.
Okay.
Do you remember it?
Yes.
Okay. So
but I don't know
let's
for
see
how
what
long.
Once again?
I don't know for how long I will remember it.
Okay. So let's see what the system, the program made by the Paweł predicted. So for the first time, what was your card, Agnieszka?
Should I say it?
Yeah, out loud, please.
Oh, I don't know how to say it in English. It's ace heart.
Ace of Hearts?
Yes.
Oh. Not again, Paweł. First the super game, now this. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I will need to improvise somehow. As you can see, the hunch is not the best way of predicting future, especially if it's based on Paweł applications. And still, what will be the best solution for predicting future? I think the strategy. You need to have some long-term strategy that also will include some plans for the nearest future, I think, and a strategy that will make you able to make some smart decisions and to make them fast and efficient. Why? Because our industry is changing so fast. We need to make decisions right away. And what will be the future of documentation? What kind of strategy we can set up and follow? I think that the future will look like this scene. This is a scene from the movie The Time Machine, released in 2002. This is a story about a man who traveled back in time, tried to get some answers, and tried to change the past, actually. And during his journeys, he visited multiple times a high-tech library. And this is the library, actually. The great, huge silver ball is the brain of the library, which contains all human knowledge. So he, the main character, asked the library about a few things during his journey to understand what happened to the world when he was traveling. And this is how the future will look like. We will have a huge set of organized information, some knowledge exchanged across all of the systems, and at the front we will have some kind of holographic or other friendly interface that you can talk to, and you can get answers from. Okay, but it sounds really great, but how will we get there? The truth is that in 2022, I mean today, we were talking a lot about the future of documentation. And we were skeptical most of the time because we were thinking that machines will never overtake humans, for instance. For example, because of understanding the context, or we won't be able to connect all of the systems to work together. But still, some concepts like Doxa's code, some chatbots, some AI, or Pavel's applications were getting more and more popular and advanced. So, I hope. So we were already on the right track, I think. And if we think about aspects of working with documentation, we may consider them as basically three groups. First would be the group in which a human is the key, for instance, to collect documentation needs, to review some changes, or to analyze and optimize documentation. And the second group collects some aspects when a human use machines to make the work easier or more efficient. And the last one is the group which is mostly dominated by the machines, because they can do the boring stuff like building, publishing documentation. And in each of those aspects, we had some places that could be improved somehow. And the good news is that we did it. And in the future, we will create David. And David is a system, is a knowledge base which knows everything, actually. It contains information from every database on the planet. It can answer for all of your questions. And as you can see, oh, sorry, this is an acronym. So it stands for Dynamic Automated Very Intelligent Documentation, which has also really friendly interface, as you can see. But how David can help us and how he will help us in the future? First of all, everything starts on a meeting. On a meeting when teams, when product owners and designers talk about the product, about the features that they want to develop. And the good news is that David is also there. He's just sitting there, listening, learning, and depending on the topic or depending on the audience, he can actually suggest something, provide information based on historical data or product information, specifications, and so on. So at this point, David is our knowledge base to make smart and data-driven decisions. Then, after a meeting, David generates a lot of artifacts. Artifacts like summaries, artifacts like tasks for the teams, or whatever, some roadmaps, for instance. Also, he's connected to our environments, not only environments that is used by the engineers, but also environments for you, for writers, so he can verify files, structures, and so on. And on daily basis, he helps me to write. He's sitting right next to me and whispering something that I can do maybe even better. And the truth is that David knows my profile, David knows our users, so he makes sure that I write the right thing in the right way. Another thing is that David knows a lot of languages because he collects information across the world, and this is a very complicated system. He learned a lot since 2022, so he can use multiple languages, and he can actually explain me and suggest some changes after I finish my document. What is beautiful about David is also that when he takes care about our work. So whenever he noticed that our documentation is ready or it's good enough to be published, he can build a new version, he can publish it, and because he knows our readers, he knows exactly who should get the new version and when to publish the documentation to. So it's beautiful because everything is done under the hood. So it's not our problem anymore. As you may notice, future of documentation will be, or documentation in the future will be driven by user experiences. And the collecting feedback and analyzing data is crucial. But it's not like in 2022 when users need to send some surveys, click some stars or thumbs or whatever, because David is constantly observing our users, analyzing what they are doing, and how they are using the software. And whenever he sees something, some doubts or some problems of the users, he can react. For instance, he can call to the user and talk to him, explain some topics, solve some problems, and so on. And basically, you can talk to David anytime, and he will always help you out. So David is great, by the way. And to make it happen, I think it's the crucial thing. We need to define and use standards. And I underline the use because in 2022, we all had some kind of style guides, for instance. But style guides are only guidelines. They are not rules most of the time. And the difference is crucial because you may follow the guidelines, but you need to respect the rules. And the key here is to understand and to find the line between staying open for experiments and following the strict rules, which can be even treated as obstacles sometimes. But to connect all the databases on the planet, as you may think or noticed already, we needed some standards because guidelines were not enough. Also, another thought, we need to trust technology. Many times, especially non-technical people, are afraid of new technologies, and that's okay, we can have some doubts, but still, I encourage you to stay open-minded for new technologies when they appear, because they can change our future, and they can make the future easier for us. And automate everything you can, because if you do so, you will be able to focus only on the creative work, only on the creative aspects of writing or creating content, and not on the boring stuff like configurations, building things, and so on. Okay, so what will be our role if David will be everywhere and everything will be automated? what will be our role as a technical writer, our information architects, or managers, or basically content creators? First of all, David needs to have parents. We will be the parents of documentation still. Why? Because people with writing skills, with knowledge, as you guys have, will be crucial to create such system, will be crucial to give him a human touch and to teach him something. Also, we will be teachers. We will be teachers because we need to exchange our knowledge. We will need to create some standards, so this is why we need to exchange our knowledge. And this is also why I'm so happy that you are here today, because this is what SOAT is about, right? To exchange some knowledge, some experiences, other technology, technology news even. So it will be our role to teach each other, but also to teach systems like AIs today. Also, when everything will be ready, someone needs to manage it. So we will still need to think about David and teach him a lot. We will be able to moderate the relation between the human and the machine, so David can help us and support us even more efficient. And as you may notice, technology is the key. So why? Because all of those aspects that I spoke before will be increased or improved somehow by or using technology. And understanding technology is the key to proceed such change. And we need you there, so you need to learn technology as much as you can. And what will be the next step? I think that we have few options right now. First is to see what will happen, use a time machine and change the past. It's the simple one. And I can show you how to do it. For instance, you probably remember that Aga did not choose the 9 of clubs, right? It was the Ace of Hearts?
Ace of Hearts.
Yeah, it was the Ace of Hearts. Sorry. And a few years later, I was still thinking, how could it happen? And then I have some quote in my mind from one of my best movies that the past can hurt, but you can either run from it or learn from it. And what I learned was that the hunch is not enough, and I need to have some plan. But it was already too late, because it was in the past, right? But then, suddenly, some clever guy invented a time machine. So, and then I thought, yeah, so I can fix it, right? And I came back from 2040 to see you guys right here today and to fix my presentation. But I cannot do it all by myself, because we've got my lovely volunteer with the pillow. Yeah. So the pillow has an envelope. You can open the envelope and read out loud what's inside. I think you should have a mic, or you will be... Yeah. Sorry. Yes, it is a message from the future.
Okay. Yeah, can you hear me? Okay, all right. So, Aga, can you please join Rafał on stage once again? Please, everyone, give Aga a round of applause again.
Oh, what a surprise!
Can you please find your card in a deck and show it to the audience?
It's your card? No, it's not the Ace of Hearts. Can you find the Ace of Hearts, please? Sorry?
I said, ha, 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 that's what it says, the message.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Make sure you won't pick the wrong card. Rafał gave me the card before, see? Oh,
What?
where's the card now?
Sorry? Could you repeat it, please?
Rafał gave me the card before. I don't remember that.
Huh?
How did... Where's the card? Secret.
Well,
Ta-da!
so you have it, and you want.
I have no
you
idea.
won't ruin
how
my
this Winston
presentation
Fact did
anymore.
That's pure magic.
Yeah, but yeah, it's kind of, it's not magic, it's time machine. So thank you, my lovely volunteer,
pen.
Naga. But what I want to say to you that this is only one of the options. So I can travel back in time, put the Ace of Hearts, give it to you, and it's the simple version, right? But the truth is that we don't need a time machine because the future starts today. And if you are right now thinking about a long-term strategy for your documentation, for instance, and you are open-minded and you think about new technologies and you want to use data to support your process and your strategy, I think that you can start to define your future of your documentation right now, today. Thank you.
I just wanted to say that it was a scam.
Yeah, yeah, it was.
Because otherwise, if you were to the future, you would, before coming
Yeah,
to
win the
stage,
super game yesterday.
No, before I said your name is Paweł, you would, say, I'm Rafał.
Yeah, but I think a lot of people call me Paweł, so I don't know why.
Maybe the surname.
Maybe the last name, yeah.
Okay, we have the first question from the virtual audience.
Okay.
And the question is, how did you manage to convince Hasselhoff to be the face of your project?
We've got some warm relations with David, and I'm a huge fan of him, so he just agreed. I don't know why. Maybe he wants to be popular, I don't know.
Okay, do we have any questions in the room here? Yes.
Now I'm scared. Uh-oh.
Hi, I'm Paweł from Krakow. So my question is, so you're the time traveler who came back from the future,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
you did it after you were disappointed that you didn't guess the card that you showed to Aga.
Yeah.
So you kind of came back and you replaced the original you who was doing this in the first place.
Yeah.
So was your plan always talking about being a time traveler from the future? And also, is there another Rafał tied up somewhere?
Yes!
Thank you.
How he knows everything?
I just know time
Maybe-
travel logic. I just know how.
There is another Paweł tied out somewhere because he also traveled back to, correct his app from yesterday, but somehow it didn't work.
You know it didn't happen.
Yeah, it's still the same Paweł, the same app, and yeah.
Thanks for your question.
Thank you
A
for
good
the
one. Yeah.
No!
It will be even a better question, I assume.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
Okay.
Hi, I'm
Hi.
Michał
From Krakow.
from Krakow.
Yeah.
From the future.
No, from now. Rafał, where did you learn to be a magician? Was it the same place where Paweł learned to code?
Yes, it was. It was YouTube, right? Yeah.
This sort of changes into a roast, but
Yeah.
we have one question from...
I need to go.
Hi, it's me again, Bari,
Yeah.
Budapest.
Yeah, the guy from the soap is. Yeah.
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 So you mentioned it briefly in your presentation, but I think today there was very little emphasis on the fact that when it comes to AI and robots and all of that stuff, that the technology is often there, and the technology is, well, sometimes rivaling the capabilities of humans. However, it's the humans or the end users are the problem because they are slower to adopt these new technologies than we are developing them. And it's down to things like the uncanny valley effect. It's the same with human robotics as with AI, that the machine does not sound like a machine anymore, but it's not convincingly human yet, and this puts off a lot of people. It's the same with humanoid robots. Is that they are no longer look like completely like a robot, but they are not yet fully convincingly almost exactly like a human, and this puts off people. This triggers a defensive reflex in them.
But yeah, but
Wouldn't you
sorry,
agree?
sorry for interrupting, but David looks like a real person, right?
Maybe what I'm trying to say is that this is, I think, a very, very big issue when it comes to human and AI and human and robot interactions that I think will take much more time to overcome than many people think. Wouldn't you agree?
I think that as I showed you, in each of those aspects of working with information, documentation, or content in general, there are a lot of space for the improvements, especially from the technical perspective. And I think that we will get there somehow. I don't know if it will be at 2040 or later, but I think we will get there, because even now I get some calls from the machines and I need some few minutes to recognize that this is not a real human. And we are already almost there, almost in a situation that it's hard to explain that, or it's hard to notice that you are talking to a machine or not. So I think maybe 2040 won't be this year, but it's sooner than later, I think, that we will get there.
I mean, 2040 is, I think, realistic. What I was trying to say is that many people, even today, who held lectures, kind of portray this thing as something that's right around the corner.
Yeah, maybe.
So I think it's a bit more. It's going to be a bit longer.
Maybe, but I think that combining all systems and all concepts together will be the most difficult part, because using some solid standards that you can apply to your environment, for instance, or to your software will be the hardest part, because you need to convince the world that this is the best standard and this should be the only one if you want to connect everything together. And always, as always, there will be people that will be convinced that their standard is much more better than yours, and this is why it makes it harder, I think.
Okay, thank you for a relevant question for a change, not like your predecessors. Okay, we have another one.
Oh, yeah. Question, is your time machine available for commercial use? Because I'd like a ticket to Wembley on July 12th, 1986.
Yeah, I think you can buy it on Amazon right now. So, in 2040, of course, after this clever guy will invent it. So.
Okay,
My machine is not for sale.
we have a question from Jacek, and then we have two questions in the front row. So there, first, on further.
The big hand from yes.
All right, so I got a question about David, because we as technical writers and also software developers, we know that a lot of problems with software occur between the keyboard and the backrest of the seat, right?
Yeah.
So what if David catches on to that and decides that humans are the real problem with software and essentially becomes Skynet and decides to kill all of us? What then?
It's a really good question, I think. But I think, as I said, David will have parents, right? And you will be one of them. You need to teach him how to behave, and that he's supposed to not kill you in the future, right? And I've got 2 kids right now, and I think that I'm supposed to teach them that they're supposed to not kill me in the future after your question. But yeah, we can teach the AI and give some rules, I think, or the frame that they cannot pass, the box that they cannot, I don't know, expand or try to do something that we cannot predict, for instance. But this is a good question, I think. But not for me. Maybe for Stephen Hawking, I don't know.
Okay, Pavel. Again.
Okay. I have a small question. Aren't you scared that David will replace us? Because in terms of quick teaching and learning, he will learn faster than we. And in terms of amount of knowledge this machine will have, he will replace us in terms of like he will know everything and not us. So that's my only concern in this big future vision.
I think this was a concern in 2022. It was common that people were afraid of be replaced by the machine. But I have my parents, and I talk to them from time to time, and they are teaching me something still, even if I'm an adult, and I don't know everything yet. And so the David will not know everything right away. This is the first part. And I think he will never will, because there are some things, some aspects of being a human that machine will not achieve, never, I think. For instance, maybe we can teach the AI, we can teach the robots or other software what the empathy is, but they won't feel, right? So I think it's not a big deal, and we are not on this level when we're supposed to be afraid of it. We supposed to stay open-minded rather to see what will happen and which technology will be the most popular, in which direction we will go, and so on. And I think we can set some limitations for such software that they cannot overtake us, I think. I hope.
Okay, yeah, question.
Oh, Ray.
Hey, I'm here.
Sorry.
So the question is, you mentioned, following up on your answer to Balint, you said we need one standard to connect all the data in the world.
Yeah.
Some talks, even today, CJ was talking about micro content where it gets parsed by AI and it gets kind of organized by the AI. So do you think we need some standard now to anticipate some future need? Or can we rely on just the AI parsing natural human language and coming up with ways to organize the content without coming up with a single standard? So all the data be connected just by the fact that it is accessible through human language, and that's the only standard we need?
I think that when I meant about a standard, I meant also about a standard of communication, standard of storing and connecting databases, and so on. So it's not only the standard related to the content. And this is the first thing. Also, I think that first step would be to unified standards all by ourselves in our companies, because often we've got a lot of standards working at the same time in a single company. So if we can unify it, we will have less things to do in the future. So.
Sure, and that makes sense, right? But still, following the same train of thought, you could say if human interface is the standard that the AI will use, I don't need to change my database, because if I can access it now, any advanced AI will be able to access it in the future. So no matter whether it's, a relational database, a non-relational database, a data lake, whatever it may be, if I can parse it today with whatever tech, the AI could use the same tech to do the same.
Yeah, but it's all about the costs at the end. So if you need to build a mechanism that will need to access to multiple sources in multiple formats, someone needs to design it, build it, and at the end it will be some kind of cost. So you can reduce those costs by simplifying the architecture, simplifying the content or information architecture. So I think this will be the first step, and then we can exchange our knowledge across the world or the companies, and then build something together. Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay, so the last question from Ray.
Hi, my name
Hi.
is Ray, and I'm from the past.
Oh, okay.
And in the past, I have a great aunt who is over 90 years old and worked all her life operating a sewing machine in a garment factory. And she would ask, if she were here today, what do I need it for?
Okay. So the answer is that I think, and this is also a theme from the previous soaps, that we need to simplify things to be able to focus on things that we actually want to do. Because if you are a content creator, you want to create a content, you don't want to set configurations, install some tools, integrate with other platforms, I don't know, CMSs or whatsoever. You want to create a content. And this is why David can help us, because he can take care about all these technical things, and he can make a situation when you can focus only on the creative work. So you will be a person who can focus only on the things that you can that you want, and you will have probably more free time for you, for yourself. So the work will be easier, I think, in the future.
Let's hope so.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we had quite a lot of questions. Thank you, Rafał, for your presentation.
Thank you.